Mary Butts, a short story collection. An introduction. Mary Frances Butts was born on 13th of December 1890 in Poole, Dorset. Her early years were spent at Salterns, an 18th century house overlooking Poole Harbour. Sadly, in 1905, her father died, and she was sent for boarding at St Leonard School for Girls in St Andrews. Her mother remarried, and from 1909 Mary studied at Westfield College in London, and here first became aware of her bisexual feelings. She was sent down for organising a trip to Epsom races, and only completed her degree in 1914 when she graduated from the London School of Economics. By then Mary had become an admirer of the occultist, Aleister Crowley, and she was given a co-authorship credit on his Magic, Book 4. In 1916 she began the diary which would now detail her future life and be a constant reference point for her observations and her absorbing experiences. During World War I, she was doing social work for the London County Council in Hackney Wick and involved in a lesbian relationship. Life changed after meeting the modernist poet John Rodker, and they married in 1918. In 1921, she spent 3 months at Aleister Crowley's Abbey of Thelema in Sicily. She found the practices dreadful and also acquired a drug habit. Mary now spent time writing in Dorset, including her celebrated book of short stories, Speed the Plough, which saw fully develop her unique modernist prose style. Europe now beckoned, and several years were spent in Paris befriending many artists and writing further extraordinary stories. She was continually sought after by literary magazines and also published several short story collections as books. Although a modernist writer, she worked in other genres, but is essentially only known for her short stories. Mary was deeply committed to nature conservation and wrote several pamphlets attacking the growing pollution of the countryside. In 1927 she divorced, and the following year her novel Armed with Madness was published. A further marriage followed in 1930, and time was spent attempting to settle in London and Newcastle before setting up home on the western tip of Cornwall. By 1934 the marriage had failed. Mary Butts died on the 5th of March 1937 at the West Cornwall Hospital, Penzance, after an operation for a perforated gastric ulcer. She was 46.
Speed the Plough by Mary Butts. He lay in bed, lax and staring, and obscure images rose and hung before him, dissolved, reshaped. His great illness passed from him. It left him too faint for any sequence of thought. He lay still, without memory, without hope. Such concrete impressions as came to him were sensuous and centred round the women of the hospital. They distressed him. They were not like the Kirchner girls in the worn sketch he fingered all day. La coquetterie d'un ange. One need not know French to understand coquetterie, and ange was an easy guess. He stared at the neat counterpane. A tall, freckled girl with draggled red hair banged down a cup of cocoa and strode away. Coquetterie, mannequin, lingerie, and all one could say in English was underwear. He flicked over the pages of the battered sketch and then looked at the little nurse touching her lips with carmine. Georgette, he murmured sleepily. Crêpe, Georgette. He would always be lame. For years his nerves would rise and quiver and knot themselves and project loathsome images. But he had a fine body, and his soldiering had set his shoulders and hardened his hands and arms. Get him back onto the land, the doctors said. The smells in the war
Sample complete. Ready to continue?